Well, good evening, everyone. It is such a tremendous pleasure to see all of you here tonight to celebrate Vaisakhi with all of us. This is such an important celebration for many Albertans from Sikh, Hindu, and Buddhist faiths, and as well to those families who come from India and all across the region. It is also a magnificent chance for all Albertans to learn so much more about all of our traditions and culture associated with this festival. Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge that Alberta is on Treaty 6, 7, and 8 territory, and this land holds a very deep importance for our Métis people as well. We are joined this evening by my colleagues in government and also by Her Honor, the Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, Salman Lakhani, and His Honor, Dr. Lakhani, the Honorable Premier of Alberta, Jason Kenney, His Worship, Mayor Nenshi, the Honorable Minister of Community and Social Services, Rajan Sani, the Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Prasad Panda, and Peter Singh, MLA for Calgary East. We're going to start off this beautiful evening with the singing of "O Canada," sung by Supriya Dillon, who is a grade 5 student from Calgary.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Oh my goodness, what a sweetheart. And you look so pretty while you were singing. Thank you so much, Supriya. That was fantastic. Our first speaker for the evening will be a very dear friend, Her Honor, the Honorable Salman Lakhani, the Lieutenant Governor of Alberta. As the Lieutenant Governor is the Queen's representative in Alberta, we would just like to take a moment to acknowledge the recent passing of Her Majesty's husband, the Duke of Edinburgh. Albertans have so many warm and wonderful memories of Prince Philip's tours and visits to our province. And we are so thankful for the great legacy of service that he created. Your Honor, I'm turning it over to you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hello, everyone. It is such a pleasure for my husband and me to join you for this online Vaisakhi celebration. I know that this is the second time that Albertans are gathering virtually to mark Vaisakhi since the pandemic began. Now, while this may be a different kind of celebration again this year, there are still many, many things for us to be grateful for as we mark this very special day. First of all, we can all be grateful for the arrival of spring and the promise it brings for warm days and the blossoming of new life. We can also be very thankful for the arrival of vaccines and the vital protection they are already providing, particularly for senior and vulnerable members of our communities. But most importantly, we can be thankful for one another, for the support, energy, and encouragement that we receive from others, and for the meaningful service that countless individuals and community organizations have offered over the past year. I know that members of our Hindu and Sikh communities have been hard uh, at work, some on the front lines, and others doing whatever they can to lift spirits and provide comfort, hope, and support to people in need. This sense of service and compassion is essential to who we are as Albertans. I would add that our cultural, ethnic, and religious diversity is an equally important part of the Alberta spirit. Vaisakhi is a wonderful way for people from all walks of life to learn about the rich cultural traditions that Hindu, Sikh, and Buddhist communities bring to our province. It is also a way to celebrate the important contributions that Hindu and Sikh Albertans have made through the decades to our success and to the quality of life that we enjoy. As Her Majesty the Queen's representative in Alberta, I offer my heartfelt thanks to everyone for your sustained commitment to sharing your best with us all. I would also like to thank the Honorable Minister Leela Ahir and her amazing team for bringing us together today. I wish each and every one of you a very happy and blessed Vaisakhi. Thank you all, and please stay safe and well.
Thank you so much, Your Honor, and Your Honors for joining us. And Your Honor, your words are always such a blessing to us. We're just so happy that you can join us for this very, very important occasion. Thank you so much. Next, we are going to receive greetings from Premier Kenny.
Vaisakhi Diyan, Lak Lak Vadayan. Happy Vaisakhi to all members of the South Asian community who will be celebrating this important spring festival this week. Especially to our friends in the Sikh community for whom this has such meaning, and people from Punjab who have done so much to help us to build a prosperous society here in Alberta. Those celebrating Khalsa Day at this time as well, and the birth of Khalsa, the central tenets of Sikhism. It's unfortunate now for the second year that the community won't be able to gather like normal through Nagar Kirtans and large celebrations because of the pandemic public health measures. But let me just say thank you to all of you and the broader community for your great care for others and your patience as we get through this by observing the public health measures. We just have a few more weeks to go before we start to get enough people vaccinated to move forward. In the meantime, I hope that you and your families will find quieter ways to have a joyful celebration of Vaisakhi. Once again, to all of you, Vaisakhi Diyan, Lak Lak Vadayan.
Many thanks to Premier Kenny. It's always so wonderful to hear his words of greetings to the entire community for Vaisakhi. And I'd like to start off by saying a very happy and blessed Vaisakhi to all of you. I know that Vaisakhi keeps me very much connected to my historical and traditional Sikh values. And this is most certainly a time to celebrate our spirituality, our diversity, and our prosperity for the future. We have been raised, and I certainly have been raised, to care for others. It is part of my Sikh faith, Sarbat Dapala, which means blessings for everyone, especially during this ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. As a Minister of Community and Social Services in the MLA for Calgary Northeast, I can assure you that I'm doing everything that I can with help from the government to ensure that we are caring for our most vulnerable, that we are practicing Sarbat Dapala within the ministry to the greatest extent possible. And as we celebrate Vaisakhi, I feel very fortunate that I can encompass the tenets of my Sikh faith in my work in serving the vulnerable. And that includes spirituality, working hard, and ensuring that those who are vulnerable are receiving the supports that they need to fulfill their basic needs. And as we come together as a community in celebration of abundance, because that's what Vaisakhi signifies, abundance, optimism, and joy, I'm confident that we will experience better days as we come out of this pandemic, and we'll celebrate next year in person in a beautiful, diverse, and inclusive gathering. Once again, wishing you all a very happy Vaisakhi. And with that, I would now like to introduce Mr. Prabhat Chaturvedi as our next speaker. Prabhat is the chairman and volunteer of the Shirdi Sai Baba Mandir, a Hindu temple and multicultural center in South Edmonton.
Vaisakhi, may God bless you with loads of love and blessings. Wishing you the festival of Vaisakhi and New Year to all. Vaisakhi is known as the harvest festival across India, and it also marks the Punjabi and Sikh New Year. Vaisakhi also marks the beginning of the harvest season in Punjab and North India. Farmers thank God for the year's harvest. Shirdi Sai Baba Mandir Edmonton is a Hindu mandir being operated by volunteers for the last 13 years. Our temple has 2000 plus members and 50 plus active members. The mission of our temple is to provide a place for spiritual teachings and worship and to support cultural, educational, charitable, and community development activities. Besides the spiritual prayers and meditation in the temple, we are providing community services and all support to the food bank, helping in cooking food to homeless seniors to the at the Operation Friendship Senior Society, Business Center, and many other organizations. Due to the COVID pandemic, our temple was impacted financially and restricted the members for their frequent visits to the mandir. During this pandemic, our active volunteers helped the community members who were affected due to health issues or limited resources to survive or were struggling to buy their daily needs. We had provided free groceries to their doorsteps, mental stress sessions to relieve their stress, daily free online yoga classes, over the phone moral support, job placement help, Vedic teachings, and many more activities with social distancing and following the government guidelines. We feel proud of our dedicated, energetic volunteers who are not only operating the temple 3 times a day, 7 days a week, rather helping the committee members in all aspects. You are welcome to visit us to see how we are operating the temple with volunteers and self-sustained financially even during this pandemic. You can visit the temple site www.shirdisaibaba.edmonton.ca or call 780-263-0663 for more information. We are available on Facebook, app, and Twitter as well. Once again, on the behalf of all Sai members on this Vaisakhi, let us pray it will be a year with new peace, new happiness, and an abundance of new friends. May God bless you throughout the coming season. Be healthy and be safe. Happy Vaisakhi. Om Sai Ram.
Thank you so much, Prabhitji, for all your work and for all your seva in serving the vulnerable. And as we get started with some wonderful performances this evening, shared by musical and dance groups from across the province, I would like to note that many were recorded prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. Next, we will enjoy a performance from Satvika Murigonda. Satvika is currently in her 3rd year of the Bachelor of Health Sciences program at the University of Calgary, and she is going to give us a Bansuri performance. what talent. Thank you so much, Satguru. That was just absolutely lovely. Now, our next speaker is Mr. Amarjeet Sandhu. Amarjeet is the president of the Guru Ravidas Society of Calgary.
First of all and foremost, a very happy Vaisakhi to everyone. This festival of Vaisakhi is proudly observed by many Hindus and Sikhs around the world. Vaisakhi is a historic festival for several reasons. It was always a harvest festival for centuries, as it was the first day of harvesting season for farmers all around India, and therefore a very joyous and celebratory occasion. In Sikhism, however, this harvesting season was given a new and bigger meaning when it also became the day to celebrate the birth of Khalsa. Guru Gobind Singh Ji in 1699 chose Vaisakhi as the occasion to transform the Sikhs into a family of soldiers. For this reason, the day is also known as Khalsa Divas. It is regionally known by many names in India, but the essence of the festival remains the same. On Vaisakhi, gurdwaras and mandirs are decorated with lights and flowers, and kirtans and pujas are held for peace and prosperity. People gather to socialize, enjoy festive foods, and donate to several charities. It is a day for giving and sharing. This day also brings utmost pride to the people of India because it coincides with the birth anniversary of Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar ji. He was the chief architect of the Constitution of India. He brought upon the nation a sense of equality when he campaigned against social discrimination and taught people of India the importance of knowledge and education. His teachings have encouraged many to follow the path of equality and keep a respect amongst each other as his top highest priority. Perhaps this is one of the reasons the BC province proclaims April 14th as Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Equality Day. Once again, I wish you all a very happy Vaisakhi. Thank you.
Thank you, Amarjeet, for your very sensible remarks. Appreciate that very much. It's my honor now to join you tonight to celebrate Vaisakhi. My name is Prasad Parna. I'm MLA Calgary Edgemont and Minister of Infrastructure. So all the speakers before me, they talked about Vaisakhi. It's a harvest festival celebrated across India on 13th April every year. On that day, farmers across India would like to thank their God and harvest the Rabi crop. But for my friends in Sikh community, it holds tremendous religious significance. Sikhs celebrate it as the birth of Khalsa Panth. And it was on that day in 1699 when the 10th Guru of Sikhs, Guru Gobind Ji, established the Khalsa Panth. And all the Sikh Gurus, I have a tremendous respect and faith in them because they preached selfless seva, and they taught us to fight fearlessly for justice, equality, and human rights. And they also taught us to defend the dignity of all, including helpless people. So those are the core principles of Sikhism. And not only those gurus preached that, but they also practiced. So to all those celebrating Vaisakhi today, Vaisakhi the Lak Lak Vadayan, and also in the spirit of what the Sikh Gurus taught us, this festive season is coincided this year with our Muslim brothers and sisters celebrating Ramadan. In my hometown, we call it Ramjan. So to all those observing Ramadan, Ramadan Mubarak. And for my faith, in Hindu faith, we celebrate this as New Year in some parts of India, where I was born in Andhra and Telangana and Karnataka in southern India. It's Ugadi or Samvatsaradi. And in my neighboring province of Maharashtra, it is actually where I was domiciled. It's called Gudi Padwa. And in other southern states, it's like in Tamil Nadu, it's celebrated as Puthandu, and in Kerala it is Vishu, and in the north as you go, it's Jur in Bihar, Samsar Padvi in Konkan and Goa in the west, and in Manipur in northeast it's Sajibu Cheroba, and in Jammu and Kashmir in northwest it is Navre, and Cheti Chand in Sindh, and Bihu in Assam, and in Bengal in the east it is Paila Baisha. So and in Punjab, of course, it is Vaisakhi. So to all those celebrating today, our best wishes. This is all about new beginnings for many of them with the new hopes and aspirations. In that spirit, I hope all Albertans will have better days ahead, starting with this new year. Now, I would like to introduce and invite our friend Saprit Buttar. Saprit is from My Radio 580 in Edmonton. I'll ask her to speak now and tell us a little bit. She's the host at that Radio 580. So I would invite now Saprit to come and speak.
Thank you, Minister. I would like to begin by wishing everyone a very happy Vaisakhi. As a first-generation Canadian Sikh, I grew up witnessing my parents practice the principles of Sikhism, some of which naturally became a part of my identity, and some of which resonated with me throughout life and has been reflected through my decisions and journey. For me, being a Sikh has taught me the value of seva, which is an act of selfless service. Seva is a spirited component of a Sikh's life and leads to spiritual liberation. It is a way of expressing our spiritual devotion to God. Seva comes in many forms. I've had the privilege to understand and share the value of seva. Throughout life, whether it was during my education, during my career, or my passions, I always think of the question, what am I giving back? What energy am I putting back into this world? Reflecting on this now, I think this was embedded in me naturally at a very young age, through the principles of Sikhism that I witnessed through my parents. Vaisakhi is many things. It is the birth of Khalsa. It marks the harvest season. It is viewed as a new year, a time to reflect and look forward to the new beginnings. This Vaisakhi, more than ever, I have been doing exactly that, reflecting on the year past. It's been a difficult year for everyone. For me, Vaisakhi was transpired through the annual Nagar Kirtan. I remember in 1999, when it was the tercentenary of Khalsa, I experienced my first Nagar Kirtan. I learned the significance of the 5 beloveds, known as the Panch Pyare. Even though these past 2 years, we have not been able to hold a Nagar Kirtan, I have still felt equally connected to my culture. This made me realize how powerful faith is. I hope everyone has had the opportunity to celebrate this Vaisakhi with their loved ones, whether that was virtually, spiritually, or physically. I would also like to invite everyone to take this opportunity to reconnect, to remember to be kind to each other, to yourself, to always lend that helping hand, because that is what the divine has shown us to do. I would like to wish everyone a very happy and blessed Vaisakhi. Thank you.
Thank you, Saprit. Very well said. Thank you. And the next 2 performers I'll be introducing are from the arts community. They are Rupa Panesar and Apneet Singh Dadala. They'll be performing today, and they're from Sarbakal Music Society of Calgary. I know the founder, good friend Bhai Harjit Singh and his entire team. They have been doing a fantastic work in promoting Indian classical music in Alberta. So I would invite them to come and perform today. Thank you so much, Rupa and Upneet, for that fantastic performance. Next, we have Malavika Venkata Subbaya from Natyam Dance Academy. So she has a couple of performers, Shivangi and Anindita Nagarajan. Malavika is an accomplished dancer, choreographer, and dance educator. And she's the founder and artistic director of Natyam Ensemble and Dance Academy. So I would invite Shivangi and Anindita Nagarajan to perform for us today.
Karuna गिड़ धुम तरी धुड़ तक धम तरी जम तरी धम धड़ तक धड़ तक धिमी तक तरी तक ती तक धन तक झंडो तक किट तक धड़ तक धिमी तक तरी तक ती धन तक झंडो तक किट तक तरी गिड़ धम तम तरी गिड़ धम तम तरी गिड़ धम
दंडो बदंड शरणारी समेतन ब्रह्मांडಗಳೊಡೆಯ ಶಿವ ತಾಂಡವ ನಾಟ್ಯವನಾಡಿ ಮೆರೆದವನ ಕಂಡೇನ ನಟರಾಜನ ಕರುಣಾಕರ ಶಿವನ ಕಂಡೇನ ನಟರಾಜನ.
Thank you for that wonderful performance. आप सभी को मेरा प्यार भरा नमस्कार, राम राम, सत श्री अकाल, सलाम, अली मदद। इस बैसाखी के खुशी के मौके पे आप सभी को लख लख बधाइयाँ। वाहेगुरु का खालसा, वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह। Hello everyone, my name is Peter Singh, the MLA for Calgary East constituency. Vaisakhi is one of the most significant historical religious festival in Hinduism and Sikhism. It is celebrated in the month of April every year on the 13th and 14th. The formation of Khalsa Panth by Guru Gobind Singh in the year 1699 is commemorated by celebrating Vaisakhi. In Hinduism, Vaisakhi celebrates the solar new year based on the Hindu Vikram Samvat calendar. Vaisakhi is celebrated by performing traditional Gidda and Bhangra, the folk dance of India. Mandirs, gurdwaras, and temples are decorated and singing of hymns known as Kirtan and Nagar Kirtan. And popular ritual in India for devotees is to perform a dive in the Ganga river or other holy water bodies. Vaisakhi is a festival I celebrate every year. Even back in Fiji, in my school days in Khalsa College, I always looked forward for the halwa, a traditional sweet, and also remember the great festive celebration filled with laughter, joy, and happiness. On behalf of Government of Alberta, I would like to show my appreciation to all the communities that have been serving their family and friends. I know this year, Vaisakhi will be celebrated differently. And I hope and wish everyone to have a safe and healthy Vaisakhi. Thank you and happy Vaisakhi, everyone. Now I would like to introduce Raman Soni. Raman is currently working as a reservoir engineer, EIT, and a product manager for Fracture Modeling Inc.
Thank you, MLA Singh, and good evening, everyone, and happy Vaisakhi. Vaisakhi diyan lakh lakh vadaiyan. As we know and have heard today, Vaisakhi celebrates the creation of Khalsa and promotes justice and equality for society. As a Sikh woman, born and brought up in Canada, a beautiful cultural mosaic, I've had the privilege to embrace my culture and religion wholly and dive deep into understanding one of the key pillars of Sikhi called Vand Shakna, which means sharing with others. This concept of selfless service, as discussed earlier by Minister Panda and Saprit, is called Seva, which is actually also my beautiful sister's name, and is a core value of mine. And it brings me much happiness to see so many wonderful philanthropic initiatives in my community and throughout the province of Alberta. Recently, I've been working a lot with youth, and I've learned about many programs that different local organizations have in place and have pivoted as a response to COVID-19 to ensure that they can continue. Some of these that I've seen include online cooking classes, STEM training, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math, and the creation of more mentorship programs to build and foster connection during this time. In addition, within the Sikh community, we have seen initiatives like No Hungry Tummies with Dishmish Culture Center, and many young people stepping up to do seva at the Gurdwaras to ensure proper social distancing and provide information on COVID-19 in Punjabi. Now, when I reflect on the last year, COVID-19 has certainly posed many challenges and hardships and has transformed the way that we live. But we have also seen people coming together to support one another in this time, where social isolation has been on the rise and extra support and resources have been required for those struggling during the pandemic. So this year for Vaisakhi, given the turmoil faced over the last several months, I want to highlight this concept of seva by thanking and expressing my gratitude to everyone who's dedicated their time and energy to share with others, especially healthcare workers and frontline workers for putting in those extra hours to serve selflessly each and every day. So thank you everyone and happy Vaisakhi.
Thank you, Raman, for the wonderful remarks. Now for our next performance is by Mela from Sarvakal Music Society. The Sarvakal Music Society of Calgary promotes local and international artists as well as upholds the integrity of Indian classical music in Calgary and in the world.
Wow, that is just amazing. The talent tonight has just been incredible. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. Our final performance is brought to us by Dr. Kamaljit Kaur Gill from the Sarvakal Society of Calgary.
काले रंग दा परांदा मेरे सजना ले आंदा काले रंग दा परांदा मेरे सजना ले आंदा नी मैं चुम चुम रखदी फिरा ते पब्बा पारे नचदी फिरा काले रंग दा परांदा मेरे सजना ले आंदा नी मैं चुम रखदी फिरा ते पब्बा पारे नचदी फिरा पाया
my goodness. Thank you so much, Dr. Kamaljeet Kaur Gill. It has been absolutely humbling spending the evening with all of you and seeing everybody to come together to celebrate Vaisakhi. Again, I have to say the talent is just absolutely incredible. And to be able to highlight that together with all of you is just such a huge privilege for myself and my colleagues. Many of you likely joined us at our virtual Vaisakhi celebration last year. And since then, my goodness, haven't we had a full year of unexpected challenges and huge sacrifices to keep ourselves and our families and our communities safe. But you know what we also saw? We saw incredible strength of Albertans and their willingness to help those around them, as well as the power of culture and community that helps us find our ways even in the most darkest of times. The Sikh and Hindu communities in particular have given back so much to the community at large, time and time again, from giving free meals at gurdwaras and mandirs to helping people who are isolating or at risk and helping them to stay connected. Thank you so much for teaching us so much and embodying that core value of your faith and generosity, compassion, and service. During Vaisakhi, we're so honored to celebrate the creation of Sikhism as a collective faith. As your very humble minister responsible for multiculturalism, it is also an opportunity for me to thank Sikh and Hindu Albertans for helping build this beautiful and vibrant province. I'm so, so proud to live here, and I hope that you're as proud as I am to live here. As we welcome the spring and hopefully much, much brighter days ahead, I would like to give thanks, deep, deep thanks to this community. And I know that your faith and culture will continue to be a massive source of strength for years to come. And although we've come to the end of our time together tonight, I want to thank you all for joining us. And I just wanted to reiterate that many of the performances that you saw tonight were actually recorded before COVID. So it's nice to see people dancing together, isn't it? And it'll give us a view to what we can hope for here shortly. I'd also like to thank our many special guests who joined us today, including, of course, our amazing Lieutenant Governor and both his honor and her honor, Premier Kenny, Minister Sani, Minister Panda and MLA Singh, and of course, His Worship Mayor Nenshi. Thank you so much to everyone working behind the scenes to make this possible. We have the most amazing team here at the Ministry of Culture, Multiculturalism, the Status of Women. And I'm so blessed to work with all of you to put together such beautiful and wonderful performances at a time when we really need to be able to gather, even if it's like this. May you all have a happy and blessed Vaisakhi. And to close, we have a very, very special video from the Nachada Punjabi Dance Academy. We are looking so forward to a day when we can dance together again. And until then, we can enjoy this highlight reel from some of their amazing performances. Happy Vaisakhi. Namaste.
ਨੱਚਣੇ ਦਾ ਏ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਦਾ ਮੁੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਤੇਰੀ ਜਵਾਨੀ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਤੁੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਚੜੀ ਜਵਾਨੀ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਤੁੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੋ ਡੱਕਦੀ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਨੱਚਣੇ ਤੋਂ ਸੰਗ ਲਾਉਣੀ ਪੈਣੀ ਐ ਸੰਗ ਲਾਉਣੀ ਪੈਣੀ ਐ ਜੇ ਨੱਚਣਾ ਮਿੱਤਰਾਂ ਨਾਲ